Awesome. Thank you so much, Margie. So I'll dive right in with the few minutes that I have and try and tell you as much as I can about Yale and what we specifically offer. Capturing everything in just a few minutes is impossible, but we gave it some thought. And this phrase on the screen here, Yale is and, we think captures us really well. We know that in the college search process, there are a bunch of different ors that you're probably asking yourself. Am I going to study history or something in STEM? Am I going to get involved in theater or robotics? Can I do research or study abroad? And here at Yale, we want to make sure that our students do not have to choose. So really this idea of and is going to be seen throughout all the different facets of life at Yale. So on the next slide, the first place that you really are going to be able to see this idea of and is in our home city of New Haven, Connecticut. I'll first acknowledge that Yale is built on the ancestral homeland of the Quinnipiac and other Algonquin-speaking peoples. One of the ways that we honor the land and Native people in our community is by recognizing them and making community for them through the Native American Cultural Center. So and living in the Americas, I encourage you to check out who lived in your area before colonization. So when it comes to this idea of and, today, New Haven is this perfect fit because it's both a big city and a college town. So it's definitely a small city. So if you're thinking of the word city and you're imagining something like Manhattan, it is much smaller. So definitely you can see in this picture there are a few tall buildings, but nothing too overwhelming, which was certainly my experience. I was very nervous about going to a city, but New Haven has that nice balance. You can even see here, there's some kind of more chill neighborhoods in different parts, plenty of places to walk and hang out, and still plenty to do in this big city vibe. Have an awesome campus that's embedded right in the downtown alongside Tony award-winning theaters, art galleries and museums, all different kinds of restaurants. So if you are a foodie or very interested in trying lots of new food, highly recommend you give New Haven a shot and try a slice of our amazing New Haven pizza. There is a whole culture around arguing over whose pizza is the best. So definitely here at Yale, you're going to get the best of both worlds. It's giving big city, it's giving college town, it's giving Hannah, Montana. So that's kind of a little bit about where we're located. You'll see on the next slide, just geographically, if you're kind of someone who needs to envision this on a map, we are located about 2 hours from New York City and about 2 hours from Boston. So it's incredibly common for us up here in the Northeast to be using those kind of really easy to use public transportation to get down to places like New York City for a field trip with your class, to see a show for one of your theater classes or something like that. So I highly recommend you check out our virtual campus tour, and you can walk around campus and get a better sense of kind of where we're located. So that's all about New Haven. On the next slide, you'll really start to get to know Yale as a academic institution, also as an and institution, because we are both a research university and a liberal arts college. So we're taking, again, the best of both of these different aspects, a research university being somewhere where you have access to professors who are doing groundbreaking research and writing amazing academic work in their areas of expertise, while also having the intimacy and awesome, meaningful seminar conversations that you'll be getting in a liberal arts college experience. So between these two different aspects of academics at Yale, you're going to be getting to expose yourself to a lot of different things you might never have expected otherwise. When I came into Yale, I had no idea what it was that I wanted to do, and that was incredibly compatible with what Yale has to offer, because here at Yale, you don't have to declare your major until the end of your sophomore year. So in those first 2 years, you really have plenty of time to try a little bit of everything. We don't have any core curriculums. There's no one saying you have to take this specific class and this specific class. Students are just encouraged to try a little bit of everything through what we have known as distributional requirements. Every student at Yale has to try a little bit of everything. Maybe that's a couple courses in the sciences, social sciences, and humanities, a couple writing credits, becoming proficient in a language, and so on. So by trying all these different things, if you think you might really want to be an engineer, you might actually have to still take a writing class in order to try something out of your wheelhouse, but then also gain skills that you wouldn't have otherwise. So that's kind of the liberal arts philosophy. Because as you'll see on the next slide, we know that our students want to pursue the arts and the sciences and everything in between. With the small class sizes and the incredible amounts of other opportunities that our students have, not just within the classroom, but by doing research in one of our over 1,200 plus labs or in any of our majors, students get to try whatever it is they're interested in and combine that with other areas of interest as well. As we mentioned, we are an and institution. So among our 80 plus majors that we have tons of different majors that have the word and right in the title. So, for example, ethics, politics, and economics, or physics and philosophy, or for those of you who are really interested in computer science, maybe you could just look at our course catalog and see just how many classes are combining computer science with other areas. We have several majors, for example, called computer science and economics, or computer science and mathematics, or computing in the arts. So definitely the interdisciplinary feel is incredibly important to our students on our campus. Beyond the classroom, students are learning all over our campus, especially in the communities where they are living. So this is kind of the central aspect of Yale students' experience. It's the residential college system. Every incoming first-year student is randomly assigned into one of 14 different residential colleges. You could maybe think of these residential colleges like a Hogwarts house in the sense that they are where students are randomly assigned to and live. There's no sorting hat, but they are definitely a place where students are going to find people that are those familiar faces and their home away from home that they come back to every day. These are not organized by any kind of major or interest. These are genuinely random, and our goal is that if students are coming from all over the world and the US, that they are going to be meeting people from all over in sort of a smaller version of the Yale community in these 14 different residential colleges. Each one has its own dining hall, its own music practice rooms, its own common room, its own library, its own hangout spaces, its own other random spaces like black box theaters or dance studios. And these are also spaces that students have access to all the time and are doing all of their favorite activities together in. So definitely the residential college is a place where there are lots of traditions and fun times for students to take a break from working on all of their coursework or going to their extracurricular activities and rehearsals and things, just to enjoy hanging out with people that they know in their residential colleges. This community continues on further. You'll see on the next slide that we really have so many different organizations. If there's not something that you already can find in our list of organizations, then you can definitely start something of your own. We have 4 on-campus cultural centers. We have, as I mentioned, the Native American Cultural Center, La Casa Cultural for Latine students, the Afro-American Cultural Center, and the Asian American Cultural Center. All of these, which are also their own spaces where students have other subgroups that they can participate in, both for finding other students of their shared identities or for performance groups or just to hang out and enjoy these spaces. Definitely in my own experience, having all of these different organizations beyond just the residential colleges provided me a lot of kind of just more of a family to go to besides, obviously staying in touch with my own family, but having friends and familiar faces in community, kind of those people that you're seeing every week for specific club meetings or rehearsals and things like that. And on the next slide, you'll see too, this kind of level of support, just not between student to student, goes much further. Later in the program, we all are going to come back together to talk about our various institutions and how we support and advise our different students, whether that's through different groups specifically or programs. So you'll see here's a list that we've put together for some of ours that we have at Yale. I'll quickly mention the Rural Students Alliance at Yale. We'll talk a bit more about those resources as well. So with that, I will kind of wrap us up by saying definitely stay in touch. We have an amazing set of resources that we want you to take use of on our website, including our Inside the Yale Admissions Office podcast. It has a ton of resources for applying to colleges, including how to write essays and things like that. So definitely feel free to scan that QR code, stay in touch with us.